Do you know? In the ancient city of Benin, every wall, every pillar, every gate was a testimony that power could be built into the very soil of the ancestors. The origins of Edo architecture trace back to the 12th century, when the kingdom of Benin rose under the rule of the Ogisos and later the Obos. By the year 1180, the first great earthworks began. The Edo people used laterite soil, packed layer upon layer, to raise walls so vast they stretched for over 16,000 kilometers, longer than the Great Wall of China. These were not just barriers, they were living monuments of unity and power. At the center of the kingdom stood the Oba's palace, a sprawling complex that grew more magnificent with each reign. By the 15th century, under Oba Yuwe the Great, the palace became both political and spiritual heart. Wooden pillars were covered in gleaming bronze plaques, each one a record of battles, rituals, and royal ceremonies. The leopards cast in bronze symbolized the Oba's divine authority, fierce, untouchable, and sacred. Materials came from the land itself: red earth for walls, raffia palm for roofing, massive timber for pillars, and bronze for plaques. The people believed that the soil carried the spirit of their ancestors, so building with it meant inviting the dead to stand guard over the living. Architecture in Benin was never just physical, it was spiritual law, order, and memory. Every courtyard inside the palace had a meaning. Some were for rituals, others for councils, and some for shrines to ancestors. The mobile altars, built with clay, palm oil, and carved ivory, tied the living to the spirit world. Entering the palace was not merely stepping into a home, it was stepping into a world where gods, ancestors, and men lived side by side. Symbolically, Edo architecture represented three things: power, continuity, and sacredness. The towering earthworks showed the strength of the kingdom against invaders. The circular courtyards represented eternal unity. And the palace itself, with its altars and bronzes, showed that leadership in Benin was chosen not only by bloodline but by divine will. Even today, fragments of the Benin Palace and the great earthwork still stand, silent yet alive. The red dust carries whispers of kings, warriors, and builders whose hands shaped not just walls, but an entire civilization. These were not mere defenses, they were architecture as memory, as spirit, as power. But here on Interior Africa, the journey never ends. In our next story, we enter a world where architecture is not for people at all, but for the gods. Houses molded from clay, painted with life, and then abandoned to time. Subscribe, stay close, and let's keep unlocking the spirit of African architecture, one wall, one roof, one secret at a time.